What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to YGOPD, your Yu-Gi-Oh! Professional Development. Trying something a little bit different here with a Banlist Prediction. Every YouTuber does it. I figured I might as well start trying this a little bit, see if you guys like it. To hear some other random's opinion on the ban list, that's probably going to be a trash take, like everyone else, right, that people generally consensus to. But never did this. Now that I have face cam, I might even do a Banlist reaction, depending on where I am when that's dropped. But wanted to go ahead and just try something like this. I picked a few things that I think are just mainly what needs to be addressed. I'm not going to do a whole prediction on what could come off, what might get moved around. I'm just thinking the current things that exist that I personally, as my player in my experience, see as a problem and think should be addressed in some way is kind of where I'm at. So banned. There's a couple cards, specifically maybe one or two that I'm just kind of not sure. It's either going to get banned or limited. In my opinion, I think it should. Limited, of course, semi-limited, and then left alone. Some of these won't really matter, but I just wanted to put them up here, depending on how the discussion goes, right? So we'll kick things off. We'll start with Snake Eye, right? That's the elephant in the room. My general opinion on this is banning Poplar and banning Princess. People are going to be like, why aren't you touching Flamberge? Why aren't you touching Ash yet? We'll get to those in a minute. But in terms of the bans, I only think it's these two. I had a lot of friends really obsessed with Snake Eye pre-Poplar and stuff like that. And the deck didn't do anything pre-Poplar and pre-Princess. You could argue Princess could survive if Snake Eye gets killed to help with other fire decks. I'm a Rescue Ace lover and enjoyer. Believe me, I love Princess, but I just think any deck being able to use Zealantis OTK lines, especially with Fiendsmith around now, being able to turn the restriction of Princess not being able to summon other than fires off and continue to link climb is just not good. So there's a lot of decks that can still abuse that FTK. I just don't think that's fair. I don't think it's existing. There could be a retrain of this for every attribute, I think, maybe, but I think these two just really need to go, and they're very toxic. Banning Poplar Snake Eye isn't really going to do anything after that. What are you going to do? Summon Ash, get Birch, and then what? Make Flamberge pass? I mean, at that point, you're forced to do Fiendsmith stuff, and it's not even that great, and plays into a lot more hand traps. It's just much more fragile, but still lets people, I think, utilize the engine who want to in a way that is much more fair. So in line with that, I think Snake Eye Ash will still probably get limited if it's not up here with the ban part. But I think these 3 hits would be more than enough. I personally would leave Flamberge alone going this direction. If you don't ban, these, then obviously Flamberge is going to go right up here and just going to get the axe, right? But I think you could leave it alone if you get rid of these 2, because again, you're just summoning Flamberge and passing. Typically, you've already dedicated your normal summon, so you really have to have an extender to be able to link off with Flamberge and do Fiendsmith combo after that. It's a lot more resource intensive. But again, you could argue that even then, if we just want a full-on murder list, it could go up here. But for now, for me, I think leaving it alone is okay. Tenpai, it has to get hit in some way, I think. Gimmick Puppet, I would also probably put here or here, but it's too new. I don't think they're going to touch it. They could do the super heavy samurai treatment and just start taking things out all of a sudden, but I don't think they're going to do that. Info has been out for a month, if that now, right? Maybe a little longer, I'm not sure. But yeah, summoning limited just I think is a decent consistency hit and helps deal with like just being able to play against Tenpai. And I think something needs to happen to check that deck, because if it gets boosted up, plus all the other tools and resources that are coming out, board breakers are going to get better and better if they continue to stop, dealing with Omni Negate stuff like Baron, Beatrice, but of course they made Desiree. So I don't know, but limited I think is where I would put that. Apollosa, I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I think this card does need to get banned. I'm a fan of it. I don't mind it. I don't think it's that oppressive. I think the oppressive thing is having an end board with a bunch of other things plus this. I think that's the similar route to Baron or Savage, is that engines are so strong. They do a million things plus the generic like pseudo floodgate type monster or negation piece that is there. So Apo, I think, will probably get banned. I wouldn't mess with IP or SP. I think if this is gone, this is fine. This is good enough. Beatrice, obviously get this out of here. It's so toxic what this card does. Unfortunately, I like Beatrice as a card. I've liked it back in the day when Virtual World, when it wasn't super toxic, it could do different neat things, just dumping extenders to be a consistency card. BA, of course, way back when in 2017-ish, even as it was starting to fade out. But yeah, it needs to go, unfortunately. And then same thing with, again, if we're on the route of turn skips, Sanctifier, Calamity, both need to go. I think over time, I'm really controversy about saying this because I'm going to do a deck profile on Sunday when you're seeing this on Friday of Red Dragon Archfiend, and I like this card. I like the Centurion build a lot. It's really good, but turn skips are just terrible, and eventually just need to get out of the game, right? You want people to be able to play. We don't want a feature match of did they have it or did they not, and that's kind of what it's been the past like 6 months. So For crossout designators specifically, I think limited. I personally would keep this at 3, but I think this is about what's going to happen, not what I want to happen, right? I'm a called by enjoyer. I've been wanting that to come back. I know that's probably a very like awful take now that things have gone down the line. I start to understand now playing decks that main crossout. I really do love it. You've seen some of those profiles I've done, but it just, if called by's at 1 and we're continuing this route of like getting rid of just, you know, toxic pieces that let decks make unbreakable boards, that kind of falls in line with this, right? Is if you stop the one hand trap they open, then even banning all these might not even matter if they still just cross out your hand trap and then make a combo anyway. So I think this will probably get limited. I'm going to make a risky call. Phantom to 1. I think the super heavy treatment is going to happen. Not banned, but just hitting this. Everyone you talk to is like, this isn't a once per turn summon. That's crazy. You can just do as many times as you want. I think even just making this like a hard once per turn summon instead would have been fine. But since that's not, I think just limiting it, unfortunately, yeah, it's a money card. Yeah, Konami's not going to hit it. Yeah. I know there's a lot of that going around, but I truly just think that, you know, taking this and putting it at 1 will do more than enough for you, Bell, without needing to kill it, basically. Unfortunately, it's a money card, but it's probably still going to stay around 40 to 50 bucks instead of 60 to 70. I have no clue what it's at now, but that was my perspective on it when I picked them up close to when they came out. And the last 2 cards, this is my only personal want. Shifter, I'm sick of this card. I've been sick of it for, I don't know, years now. What, 2019 Megatins, right? It's been 5 years for Shifter. No, it's not. Surely not. 2020, I don't know. Whatever, 21, maybe, I don't know. All these years, the past like 4, 3, since COVID, everything's blended together, right? But yeah, Shifter needs to go. I'm just sick of that card. Just, if they have it, you lose, or you just got to play some weird deck that isn't affected by it or things like that. That's why it's like every now and then my fun deck of choice in formats where Shifter comes back because it's so toxic is Ninja. I'm like, cool, I'm going to set 1 pass whether you Shifter or not. So yeah, I think that needs to go. And then the last piece, I put Skill Drain here, but you could take this as a hint to all floodgates. I think the one other deck that's not comprised here that needs to get hit is Runic Stun. And I don't think they're going to touch the Runic Engine. Maybe they limit Fountain, maybe, but I just think that all the other floodgates are at 1. This should have never came back. It's probably going to go back to 1 anyway. In reality, I'd probably put it here because it's going to go up here or here. That this is my one, you know, caveat where I'm not sure. I think it's going to be touched in some way to either get banned or to get limited. I just don't know which. I have a stronger sense that it'll probably get limited just to match the other floodgates without getting banned, but there is a chance they could just outright ban it, and I think that's good, and I think it probably will need to happen. I don't think it will, but there's still decks, again, like Whitewoods and things like that can just send for cost, keep you under the floodgate, and just get rid of it for their turn. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the ban list. I think it's going to be one of 2 things. I think it's just going to be a massacre of a lot of cards. I mean, even here, what do we got? Like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's still a sizable list to even hit 13 cards. It might be more than this. It could be less. They could just ban like these key things and leave all this stuff alone. I don't know. But yeah, that's my take on what the ban list may or may not be. Let me know what you guys think. What cards are you hoping just finally get out of here? But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you all on Sunday. Later.